This is a conversation I've been wanting to share for a very, very long time because it's hectic. It's what I have come to know, what Mother has shared with me regarding, these issues around infertility and all of it. And the first thing she always says is that there are enough kids. First of all, she says there are enough kids. And I don't think that human beings understand the depth to which a new human coming into this world was such a deliberate thing. When you look at how much has been ruined and taken away and completely morphed into something that it was not, that, sex is for procreation and that every woman must bear a child or bear children or whatever it might be. No, that's not how it used to work. That's not how it used to work. Quite literally, a child came in when it was time for that child to come into the world. Now, in the last 2,000, 3,000, 2,000, 3,000 odd years, the systematic changes to our DNA, to how we function, to all of it, has been so immense that now, guys, there are millions of orphans, and there are deeper reasons to the women who are struggling to have children and things. I have maybe 2 years ago in my earlier days done a video about children choosing their parents and why and all of it. And it is very difficult to condense everything into a TikTok video because there are so many elements to the things that I know, and perhaps I'm just supposed to share it at this level, but because I like information, I always assume that, but perhaps it's just to stop me from always going on and on. But nonetheless, there are enough children, not every woman. There are very few women now, and we're moving more into that space. Very few women that are actually meant to have children. What I mean by that is, actually, it doesn't even need explanation. There are very few children, very few women that are actually meant to have children. Especially, I would say, between now and the next 50 years, is just, they're going to be less and less. And everyone will say, oh, this is worrying and things like that. But the truth, where people are worried, the only people that are worried are the more of your European countries, right? Where there is a steady decline, a dramatic decline, she says. It's not even steady, a dramatic decline. And so what you see happening is that most of the population, it's the elderly, or just people of a more mature age. And then you have this wonderful thing happening in this lovely continent of ours, Africa. Africa, oh, manyonepa. I completely butchered that, but love Salif. Nonetheless, something beautiful happening on our continent is that we have a huge population that is young, very young. So no, we don't have a birthing problem. We don't have a birthing problem. And when you keep looking at everything and taking information that people give you, and you don't invest yourself into actually trying to critically analyze what is being fed to you, you won't see what is so plain to see, that the issue is not women not having kids. The issue is that essentially Africa is the one that won't die out. Why do I say that? Because everyone's also trying to move here. Let's not forget that. So, are you a woman that's been wanting a child and you just want your child and you're just desperate for a child? Guys, look, if you want to do IVF, go and do IVF. But there are enough children that need homes. There are more than enough children that need homes. And what you're going to see is that until the children that need homes, that need parents, that need all of this, until those children are taken care of, there will be less and less children. lesson is children. And because the spiritual things have so much going on in the background, it's on the surface of it, it might seem like, oh, okay, so you're saying that even if I carry the desire, I must not have children and all of it. It's that, it's the same reason why just so many children are abandoned, because now we're at a point where people are now genetically, literally, the embryo is being manipulated to carry certain characteristics, to physical attributes and all of it. So we've completely lost the plot. We're cloning people. Gosh, that's exhausting in itself. So I do apologize to the women who are desperate for a child. And often there is a spiritual reason that you can find out why. Sometimes it's something from a previous lifetime. Something is something that's just chasing you, that's following you around. But it's a lot of us are not supposed to be having children at this time. And it coincides, obviously, with women waking up and all of it. Perhaps this is why she keeps saying to me I must just start to do the videos on a platform that allow me to do long-form videos. But I personally have never held the desire to birth a child, to carry a child. I've always viewed pregnancy as very inconvenient. But because of being a sage, a seer, a healer, I feel it to the core, what it's like for the women who desire it. It's very deep, and the sadness is immense. And also because there are all these preconceived ideas and beliefs about if a woman's not having a child, and often it's even laid down on, it's put on the woman that she's the one who's infertile, and oftentimes it's not. But, the medical field has, for crying out loud, there's nothing for perimenopause and all these other things, but there's Viagra. You know what I mean? All right, darlings. I'm tired. I think this is as far as I can go with all these messagings. And there's other life as well, other aspects of life to be attended to. But I will do more long form if you guys want a deeper explanation about the kids. But if you are quote unquote struggling to have kids, you can keep going, or you can just adopt. That's simple. You can keep trying. You can IVF it. You can all these things. It's very interesting when we look at this, how much manipulation has gone into creation, into making children, all of it in the last decade and 2 decades and a bit. And then we wonder why we're getting so many abnormalities amongst the human race.